Hello and welcome to another episode of Bangers Bricks. As promised, this episode is going to be a bit different from the previous Lumibrick sets, and this time we're looking at the Bricklink Adventures in Transylvania set. This set was bought directly from Lego. This video is not sponsored, this was bought with my own money. And as the Bricklink latest round is out this week, I thought it would be a good time to review this set. I know it's difficult to get hold of now, but there are ways to get it. So this set is, I said, the Adventures in Transylvania set. It cost me 299 British pounds, or would have been 349 US dollars. There are 4,056 pieces. There are 11 stickers. There is no paper manual, it's only electronic, and there are 14 minifigures. This isn't the usual kind of Lego set. You have to pre-order them, and then they only make the number that they actually sell. And then once it's gone, and very difficult to get hold of. But I wanted to review this set because I think, honestly, it's absolutely amazing. There are some good points and some bad points, but I'll go through those as we talk through the set. So as you can see from this set, it really does look stunning from every angle. I think it's probably the best looking Lego set that I've ever purchased. I love the fact that you can have this set as a full building. As I mentioned on the Lumibrick sets, I really like the ones that you can place into a Lego city or similar that don't just have open backs. And this one is, I think, one of the best sets to exemplify the best of both worlds. So as you can see here, it looks fantastic from any angle when it's closed up, but you can open this up so that you can see inside of the castle. I especially love, you can see here how parts of the mechanisms work here. As you open the castle up, then effectively this gate swings so that it looks like one full set from the side, but closes up when you close up the set so that there's not a gaping hole. It's so clever and seamless and just works really, really well. There are some fantastic techniques used in here. It's a lot more complicated than your average set. In particular, looking here at the windows, the detail is absolutely exceptional. And on all of the turrets and the bits hanging off, again, you can just see quite how much goes into them. Lots of different techniques with studs not on top. It's so well done. And yeah, the detail is just amazing. I think the colours look absolutely fabulous. I think the reds and the blacks really give it that kind of haunted mansion feel to them. Again, though, one thing I would mention, I did have some substantial problems with the colours on this set. It was honestly quite humbling how often I would get the wrong colours. So yeah, probably isn't the biggest deal if some of the different shades of red are in different places on your set. But yeah, again, something to be aware of, and it would be nice if Lego or other companies could help out a bit more with that, because it is kind of embarrassing having to ask for help with colours. I love how much foliage is on this set. It really brightens it up with a splash of colour that makes sense. There's leaves everywhere and trees, both the gnarled ones and the bright colourful ones. The one downside to this is that it can make the set a little fragile, and that I'm constantly knocking bits off it when I move it, which does kind of, I guess, dilute a little bit from the playability of this set. But overall, I think it's just fantastic still. I mean, I think it's still well worth having those plants and flowers around, because it really does add massively to the set. It is a playable set. There are lots of play features in here, more than just the static set, which I think is absolutely fantastic that these have been built in. So there are three main ones. See here, there's the trapdoor, Castle Grayskull style, that you open up and drops the characters into the cell below. Then here You have a dropping chandelier that you can wind back up and then release, and that will fall on unsuspecting people underneath. But the absolute star of the show, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Dracula. I built this, obviously, and I still can't believe that this works so flawlessly. It's absolutely amazing the way that the top of the crypt just slides off, and then the Dracula stands up, just like in the movies. So incredibly well done. Never had a problem with the mechanism. Works perfectly every single time. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic. What more could you want? So you do get quite a few different characters in this set. There are two missing from here, the Dracula one and the suit of armour, which are put down properly inside the building, so I've not removed those. So these are all of the human characters, including one ghost, though, that you can see in the middle. I do like how this piece is moulded, slightly different from the others, so you can see the way it floats like that, which is really nice. Each come with various different accessories. I think there's a good selection here. I think they're very cute. I'm not quite sure if they add much to the set for me, to be honest. The set very much seems to be set up almost like a fake haunted house rather than a real one. I like the ones with some monsters, and I did see that there are some in the sets on Lego that you can vote for with a proper monsters castle, but it's still nice to get these. I do think they can add something nice if you want to add them into your set. So to talk through a few of what I think are downsides, minor downsides, I will say, but slight downsides to this. Obviously, the main one is its limited availability. You did need to pre-order this set in order to get it, and if you try to get it now on the secondary market, then it is very expensive. It has increased in value quite substantially. Not that I'd necessarily say that you should go for knockoff sets, but I have seen that there are copies of this available on AliExpress and similar. I can't vouch for their quality, but if you're wanting a set like this and can't quite afford the ludicrous resale market, then you might consider going on one of those sites and buying from there. The next downside is it is digital instructions, and I'm not sure if I was doing something wrong, but I was using the official Lego app to view the instructions and build the set. And the quality of the effectively PDF file that was in there was very low. It wasn't very good at all. Again, not sure if I was doing something wrong. It also insisted on reloading the instructions every single time I went back into it, which was very odd. I also noticed that there was a mistake, and that on one of the instructions you could actually see items that were put on a future step. And it did frustrate me a bit that this seemed really poor on Lego's part. I built this set months and months after it had come out, and I would have thought they could have fixed that before I got to see it. Um, and these sets are expensive. I do think that paper instructions wouldn't have been too much to ask, really, for this. And the final downside is, yeah, after building all of the Lumibrick sets, then I feel this one in particular could have really benefited for some little lights just to really increase that spooky atmosphere. And yeah, as it's a normal Lego set, there aren't any. Again, I imagine that there are sets available of lights that you can put into these, but I wouldn't really want to take it apart to put those in. To be honest, as I said, some of the bits can be a bit fragile, and yeah, I wouldn't want to make it even more so. So, to wrap up this review, I would absolutely recommend this set. I think it is absolutely amazing. The design, everything about it is just stunning. Special credit to the creator of this set, because it was designed by a fan, as all the Bricklink ones are. So rather than by Lego, and they've done a staggering job on here. As I said before, lots of really interesting techniques, keep it interesting. Each of the layers is then built up as we go, and it's just so well done, and the end result is wonderful. However, all of those different techniques does mean that the set is quite complex to build. So it's definitely not one that I would recommend for starters or for younger children. Uh, it's definitely, yeah, more advanced and can be a bit fiddly. So something to bear in mind, really. It really made me interested in the Bricklink sets, and as I said before, then this week is the latest round, and I have ordered one of those sets because I do think these are some of the best Lego sets that you can get. The value is actually better than normal Lego sets. This was over 4,000 pieces for £300 or $350, so it not less than the usual exchange rate on piece per dollar. But it did come with some compromises, like the instructions. But overall, I just think it is such a nice set. And yeah, if you can get hold of it, absolutely think you should. So thank you for joining me on this review. As always, if you could like and subscribe, it does the channel an awful lot of good. Really appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with another set. Thank you very much.